Hey, good morning, y'all. Thought I'd do some touching bases with you there and let you about the little conversation I had there with a fella downtown. We was sitting there chewing the fat, and directly here comes this old man walking down the street. And the fella I talked to said, "Oh, bless his little heart." He said, "That man's lived a dog life." Well, that's about the time I lost all consciousness of what that man was talking about and got to reminiscing about my dog. I mean, just last night, we was sitting there watching that television, and dog goes over to the wife and barks, and the wife says, "Oh, you got to go outside." Well, she goes and gets her shoes on, her coat on, and puts the leash on that dog and gathers up the umbrella because it was raining. And she goes outside and she walks around there with the umbrella over top of that dog so it don't get wet. And I'm thinking, oh my. And it wasn't but, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. And they come back in the house and she done dried that dog off and dried his feet off. And that old dog comes up there and jumps on my lap while I'm sitting there in that easy chair. Now, mind you, we went and bought that dog one of them great big old fluffy, stuffy pillows. Well, it's big enough to fill up a fella's pickup truck bed, it's that big. But no, that dog jumps up on my lap. So I'm thinking, well, if I don't bother this dog, he won't bother me with wanting to play ball and tug of war and all that stuff. And so I'm sitting there as long as I can. And I'm not the only one that lets that dog up there, because I got a cousin and she sent them pictures there a while back, and her husband's sitting there in that easy chair with a big old Doberman on his lap. And we're not talking about none in there teacup chihuahuas. And he's got a Doberman and I got me a big old black lab. So I'm sitting there, my legs are falling asleep, and I goes and starts wiggling. And I wiggle down out of that chair because I don't want to disturb that dog now. And finally, I did make it down on the floor, and here I am on the floor on that dog's pillow. Can you imagine? So a little bit later, we decided, well, it's bedtime, so we turned the lights off, TV, and we goes and gets into bed. Now, mind you, we had to put an extension there on the side of our house because we went and got one of those there California king-size beds, them big old beds. We jumps up in bed and goes to sleep. And it's about 2:45 in the morning, and there I am. I only got about 6 inches, 8 inches at the most that I'm hanging on. And a fella don't want to fall out one of them, he's going to break a rib. But I get woke up and a little nibble there on my ear. And I'm thinking, well, hey, my wife, she must be getting a little frisky. And I just turned over and give her a big old kiss. And I was met with a big old dog kiss. Yeah, it was. So I'm figuring, well, that dog must have to go outside again. So we goes out and puts the leash on that dog, get my shoes on. I'm thinking, well, we ain't going to be out there that long, so I'll forego that umbrella. So we goes outside, and I'll tell you what, that dog knows every blade of grass, every stick, every bug out there in that 5 acres. He's out there for an hour and a half, and it never did go. So we come back in the house, and he crawls back into bed, and just no more get settled in again. And the wife jumps up and she said, "Come on, you got to go on outside." And I'm thinking, yeah, I got to watch this. She took that dog out there, and it wasn't 30 seconds later, they was back in the house. That dog done went. I'm thinking, geez, it was. So I goes and turns the TV on and gets me a cup of coffee, and I smell the wife in there making some bacon and eggs. I'm thinking, whoo, I'm getting hungry now. And here directly she come, and she set down a plate there with 2 slices of that there toast and butter. I said, I thought you was making the bacon and eggs there. And she said, well, she said, we only had a couple eggs and a little bit of bacon. She said, so I just went ahead and gave that to the dog. Now, mind you, this is a woman that says she wants to feed her dog properly. She spends over $50 a bag for a bag of that there big dog food. it's supposed to be that high power stuff and good for it. And, you know, this is the same dog that runs out there in the garage and gets in the cat litter and eats the cat turds, you know. But, yeah. So she says, hey, I got an idea. She says, it cleared up pretty nice outside. Won't we go to the dog park and walk around? I'm thinking, well, okay, we can let off some steam and wear that dog out. And so she gathers up the dog and heads out to the car, and me and my helmets and all. It takes me a while to get my shoes on and lock up the house, and I go and get out there, and here sat that dog on the front seat of the passenger side. I was like, what's going on here? Well, she said, well, it don't like to ride in the back. It likes to ride up front here where it can see. Okay, yeah. So we get there to that dog park, and I start unfolding to get out of that little car of hers, and she goes around the back of the car there, and she says, oh, she says, grab that there backpack out of the back seat when you come back here. I said, oh, what's that for? She said, well, she said, I got some snacks and some water in there. Well, good. I'm getting a little snacky time here. So I goes to reach in, and there's nothing but them there and milk bones. Nothing but milk bones and bottled water. She said, oh, that's not for us, that's for the dog. Okay, yeah. So I gets back here back of the car, and there sat that dog in one of them there three-wheeled jogging things that them young mamas put their babies in, go jogging around the park. There sat that dog, and I said, oh, what's all this noise about? She said, well, I don't want the dog to get tired. The dog get tired. You know, here this dog has 2 extra legs than what I do, and I got all my helmets and all, and here this dog's gonna get pushed around the park. Now you imagine that? I'm thinking, geez, that was. So if you know of anybody that's looking for a good dog, would you tell them that I'll be more than happy to volunteer for that job, because I'd like to have a dog's life. Y'all have a good day, and God bless.